everybody, it's Magic Prepper, and I just wanted to bring something to your attention that maybe some of you haven't thought about before, but it's a prep that I think is pretty accessible and a lot of people either don't, invest in, or maybe they don't do any research or they haven't even thought about it at all. Sometimes living with a healthy dose of paranoia is a good way to go. It kind of gets you into the mindset of how can I make sure that I eliminate things off of my daily routine or off of my survival list that I know could possibly go wrong in the future. Well, for me, one of those items was glasses or contact lenses, right? Since I was 7 years old, I've had to wear glasses or wear contacts. And one of the things that is very available and very affordable nowadays that any prepper with eyesight issues should definitely look into, in my opinion, is LASIK or laser eye surgery. I actually had laser corrective surgery about a year ago now, and it's probably one of the best things I ever spent my money on. I mean, my vision has gone from blatantly terrible to 20/20. I can see. I don't have to worry about having to fumble around with my glasses in the apocalypse, or when am I going to get my next, bottle of saline solution for my contact lenses, and how am I going to avoid having any kind of eye infections or anything like that. It's actually incredibly difficult to survive long term with some kind of a device that fixes your vision. Correcting your vision is extremely important in a survival situation for the obvious reasons that you need to be able to see. And if your enemies or marauders or anybody else that we're worried about in a post SHTF situation are better at seeing than you, I mean, they already have the upper hand of you. Now, one of the things that is very important to me is security and self-defense. I'm very concerned about making sure I can protect myself as well as my family. And waking up in the middle of the night to a knock at the door or a sound in the backyard or whatever it might be is a lot more cumbersome when you have to first put on a way for you to see, aka your glasses or some kind of device that allows you to see better, versus being able just to wake up. And it's something that people with regular eyes tend to take for granted. So if you're one of those special eye people like myself, you might do a little bit better from this video than somebody who already has perfect vision and doesn't have to think about this topic, right? So one of the things that got me to think about this and wanted me to share this information with you was watching a Survival Lily video recently. I think she is really good with bushcraft. She does a good job of showing you how to survive out in the wilderness, build different buildings or structures or whatever that might be. However, when I watch her, one of the things that I always think about is, man, how does she deal with wearing glasses out in the middle of the woods constantly? It's got to be super difficult. Keeping them clean is a huge pain, and I know that they get in the way. When I wear glasses, I sweat in them. They're constantly needing to be cleaned. They fall off if you're at the wrong angle. They break easily. And yes, there's a lot of options out there for people that have glasses. You could get goggles. You could get the athletic style offerings that they have for basketball players and people of that nature. And then they also have the indestructible, Kevlar and fiberglass glasses that basically can't be broken. So there are options out there for people, and maybe she has a pair of glasses like that. My thought process was, man, if one of your main directives is survivalism or prepping, then make the investment, especially nowadays when it's very affordable and easy to get by, and go get laser eye surgery. Try to look in and see if you qualify for LASIK. I will caveat this conversation by saying not everyone qualifies for laser eye surgery. It does depend on the size of your eye, it depends on how thick your corneas are, it depends on a lot of different factors that maybe not everyone's going to be able to qualify. So if you don't qualify, then look into other options like durable or extremely impossible to break versions of glasses that are going to last a long time and be really difficult for you to ruin in case there ever is an SHTF and you're not going to be able to walk down to your optometrist at any point in time. Sometimes you just don't qualify, and that's okay. But most of the consultations are free, so do yourself a favor and at least see if it's an option. I will say that it's been a very good experience for me so far. I can see much better than I ever have in almost my entire life, and I can feel a lot more confident when I'm behind the scope of a rifle, or if I have to look down, my sights on my pistol. I want to make sure I'm going to be hitting the target, and what I'm aiming at is what I mean to be aiming at. And if it's the middle of the night, you don't have time to grab your glasses or something like that, well, one of the first rules of firearm safety is don't fire at anything unless you can see or you know what you're firing at. So just something I wanted to bring up and give your attention to. This is that moment where I would love to give you a coupon code and say, tell them Magic Prepper sent you, but unfortunately I haven't really worked out those, partnerships with laser eye surgery centers or anything like that yet. So maybe one of these days I'll be able to hook you guys up. But as of right now, the consultations are free, so that's probably the best I can do. And just do yourself a favor, quick Google search, find a clinic nearby you, give them a call. I live out in the middle of nowhere in North Dakota, and I still was able to get laser eye surgery. So the likelihood that you don't have access to it or it's not around you at all is very slim, I'm sure. So just keep that in mind, guys. I mean, when you're thinking about preps, survival, investing in yourself as a prepper, what are some of those things that are holding you back? Obviously there's the health, there is the physicality, there's things that we can work on that don't really require monetary investments, but I do consider eyesight to be part of your health. So I find it to be pretty important. And I think if you're going to invest in a year's supply of food or a lot of ammunition and firearms, that you should at least take the chance to maybe give yourself perfect vision and have one more thing off the list that's going to cause you a problem in that post SHTF situation. So just wanted to kind of run that by you guys, kind of give you some insight on someone who has had laser eye surgery. It is a freaky experience. You sit in a pod with all these crazy lights going on. There's like 7 people standing around you. I'm pretty sure it's how an alien abduction would feel. Not that I have experience with that, but if you do, feel free to let me know because that sounds interesting. But anyway, the thing cuts your eyes. They brush it back over with like a little paintbrush. It's very weird experience, and that's not something I necessarily want to do again. But I will say it was definitely worth the experience to have the eyesight that I have now. So just something to help maybe give you guys something to think about. And if you do have any interest in getting laser eye surgery and you're maybe scared or not sure if you can afford it or have questions about it from somebody who has experience with getting the surgery versus just finding out from a doctor or a doctor's office about it, you can always send me a message on my website, magicprepper.com, or you can just comment below and I'll do my best to answer your questions if you just want to kind of pick somebody's brain who's been through it before. And, like I said, if you've been abducted by aliens, feel free to comment as well. But, let's invest in ourselves as much as we can. And that also applies to any other health-related issues you have currently that are maybe something you can fix right now that you want to be able to fix at all post-collapse. And, when I say that, if you know you have a bad knee or a bad shoulder or maybe you have asthma or things like that, do your best to prepare for those items to be a problem now so that it's a lot easier for you later on. Go get the additional inhalers or go get surgery on your knee and just try to get it worked on now with physical therapy and everything else that's accessible before you're, just having to amputate a leg like it's a civil war or something. Those are all things that we all try to procrastinate on or put off because it's uncomfortable and it's not something we really want to deal with. But in the long run, I think, at least in my personal situation, getting my eyes fixed before the end of the world is definitely going to be a benefit for me and everyone else around me. Another topic on that real quick would be dental. Try to get as much dental work done as you can now and try to take care of your teeth as best you can now because having a rotten tooth in the middle of SHTF is definitely going to be a downer. So if you guys have any questions about anything, feel free to let me know. Really appreciate everybody's support so far. Channel hit over 150 subscribers recently, and I really thank you guys for coming by and giving me that support. Making these videos has been a blast for me so far, and I really enjoy interacting with the community here. So I'll keep it rolling as long as you guys keep coming by. And I really just want to make sure you know that I'm appreciative of every view, every like, everything I get from the crowd out here. So I really appreciate it. And honestly, it's getting late tonight, so that's going to be it.